I'm 5 months into making the weirdest factory game. You place machines to generate cells, process them and assemble them into different body parts to ultimately make a full human. Today I'll show you the whole process from how it started to what it is now, and at the end of the video a little bit about what is next. My first goal was to place machines, make them generate some kind of resource and make that resource pass from one machine to another. To place stuff, I made a cube. That works as the ground where you're putting the machines, and also wrote some code so you can move around, rotate and go up and down. I made this thing to represent machines for now, and wrote some more code for you to place those things, rotate them and also delete them. So when I do have the actual machines, I can just reuse that code. To generate resources, I made a cube with an arrow which will be our generator. This thing is gonna be your conveyor belt, and this small green cube is gonna be your product. Then I made an invisible grid to which machines will snap to so you can keep your factory organized, and made the generator spawn the products. When you place conveyor belts next to a generator, it will take that product and move it. But as you can tell, the products weren't actually moving. So I made that every second, instead of teleporting to the next machine in line, they will move smoothly. The current machines, if we can even call them that, are really simple and they look like complete garbage. So the next step was making more machines that work in more interesting ways to spice up the gameplay and also give them some cool looking designs. I started with the seller machine, which gives you money in exchange of the products that you put into it. I made some processing machines. These will make your products change color. Each processor will turn your product into a different color that represents a different product. The assemblers will turn your products into a more complex one. The different things you're going to make require different products in different quantities, kind of like a recipe or a blueprint. I made 2 assemblers, each with a different set recipe. But these machines are some cubes with arrows, and I said I was giving them some cool designs. So I made a bunch of sketches and picked the best ones. I converted those into 3D models and gave them some colors. I put them into the game making software and set them up so they look good. I also wrote some code to make the machines connect seamlessly when you place them, and now not only looks 100 times better, but there's more machines variety and things to do. This is where I got rid of the color cubes and went with the human making idea. It's not only because it's gonna make the game more visually shocking, but it will also make that I have more space to develop a story that is cool and also have a more interesting world overall. To accomplish this, I first had to make a list of all the parts you will need to make in order to make a full human, starting from cells and taking into consideration that the maximum amount of products to be combined is 4. So it doesn't get too complicated, that's annoying. Totally not a random number I picked. Anyway, the list ended up being 41 products long, so for the sake of this video and to make it easily understandable on the game too, I separated it into 2 categories. The first one is raw anatomy, which are the starting stem cells, the different types of cells you can convert them to, and what you get when you combine them. Like for example, to make a big bone, you start from the stem cell, then process it into bone cell, then assemble it into small, medium, and big bone. The other category is body modules, which are made out of different products on the raw anatomy category and also from its own category. The 4 major parts are what make the full human. So we have arms, head, torso with all the internal stuff, muscles and everything, and the legs. But that's enough information, let's get to the actual designs. I first tried to model a human myself, but the result was so horrifying it still haunts me to this day. So I just bought a model online, modified it and textured it to make it look more organic and make it fit the game. I separated it into different parts for the products, and then I made the ones I couldn't just directly separate from the base. I passed the models to the game engine and set them up, and just like that we have the new human products working in the game. It just took me 2 weeks. Before advancing more, I decided to put some visual polish and made some menus that were necessary for the development to continue. Just things to tie everything I've shown you so far down. So I'll just go rapid fire mode with these ones. I added visualizers for when you select things, delete them, or just generally interact with the machines inside the mode, so it's easier to see what you select or are about to select. I made a menu for the build mode where you can see the machines you can place and also with which number key you can select them. I made some icons for each of the modes and put them on screen so you can see which key activates what mode and which mode is currently activated. Overall, not the most fun additions, but very important for the game. Now we get back to cooking.
Yeah, boy.
We're getting closer to the current state of the game and we're missing something that every good logistics game needs, actual logistics. So I'm adding new machines that are going to filter and sort products. I wrote the code for the splitters, which are 4 machines that work the same. They change the direction a product goes. Their designs indicate to which direction the products that go into them will go. There's one that sends the products forward and left, another sends them forward and right, the third one only does it left and right, and the last one sends them to every direction. You can tweak how many times a product will go one way before going to another in the menu I made for them. To show it in action, here is how a machine with 1 turn to the left, 2 forward and 3 turns to the right works. But those are not the only logistics machines I added, because I also added these ones. You can filter an item and redirect it while the others just pass normally. In this example, I'm filtering the muscle cells, which are the red ones, and the nerve cells, which are the blue ones. Here's how the left filtering looks like, the right filtering, and the left and right filtering. You can select what to filter with the menu on the operator mode. You just click the filtering slot that also shows you what side it's filtering to and select the item to filter, which will also appear on the top display of the machine. Because of these new machines, I had to change the menu on the build mode, which now has 2 tabs. One for basic machines and other for the sorting machines. You can switch the tabs with tab or just clicking them. My main concern at this point is I haven't really touched anything on the visuals, well, besides the machines, since basically the beginning of the project, and I really want to make this look good. Especially now because I want to put it on Steam as soon as possible and I can't have a garbage looking game up on Steam. I started with adding a grid visualizer that shows up on build mode, so you can actually see it instead of imagining it. Then I put some walls around the factory space, so there's more than just the cube I made at the beginning. And also confining the camera to that space so you can't just go outside of the play area. I played a lot with the lighting and made it look how I think a futuristic factory should look like. I also tried multiple styles for how the factory could look like in terms of color and textures, and I didn't really like what I got so far, but I got something that looks good enough to put it on Steam for now. And even though I plan to change the style later, it's still a clear upgrade from the mess that I had going on before. So that's where I'm at right now. 5 months in, 41 products, 16 machines, and an entire system to manufacture human bodies. I would say the progress is solid and the core gameplay is almost done, but there's still a ton of content I have to add to the game to make it a great game. The next thing, or things I'm tackling next, is allowing you to purchase more factories so you can basically expand your operations and also optimize a lot of the game so it can run on a freaking potato. If you want to get updates on the game and whatever I'm working on, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you want to chat with the community, join Discord. I'm gonna leave the link of the Discord server on the description, so please join. Feel welcome to join. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.